Good afternoon, everyone. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. Settle back in your seats, everybody. I have a wonderful guest today. You know, at DotCom magazine, we're always talking about bringing the leaders, the experts in their field on the show. And of course, we have such a big Rolodex. And recently I had so many people reach out to me and they said, Jake, you know, you bring so many leaders on the show, so many people worldwide that we love listening to. But, you know, one thing that's sort of we're thinking about here, the new year is here, is insurance. You know, everybody's saying, listen, what do we do with our insurance? You know, we do things in our business to insure our business. We have liability coverage and umbrella coverage. But what do we do with our personal insurance? How do we cover ourselves and our family? So, of course, we went through the Rolodex and I found really one of the leaders in insurance in America to come on the show. His name is Mr. Dan Keil. And of course, in all due candor, I've known Dan for a number of years, but he's a go-to guy. I mean, everybody talks to Dan about their insurance throughout the country. He's the CEO of rocketinsurance.us. I don't want to take too much time up because there's so many questions we have for him. I'm so delighted and really honored to have Dan on the show with me today. Dan, welcome to the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
It's great to be here, and I'm really honored to be on the show, and I'm looking forward to going through what we do.
I love it, Dan. Of course, you're known as really the preeminent expert in insurance. Everybody calls you, everybody sort of bends your ear. You provide so many insurance policies for so many people throughout the country. But before we get started, let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet and tell us what you do at rocketinsurance.us.
What I do, Andy, is I really take care of my clientele. I basically we help a lot of families, and we're partners with a lot of property and casualty brokers throughout the country. We partner with them, but we really secure families so they don't have to worry about insurance needs if a loved one passes away. But we also have investment insurance, which is really a huge part of our business now, really having an investment that grows for a family. And not only does it grow, but they're covered. There's living medical benefits within the policies. So not only are they covered if a loved one passes, but they're covered while they're living. And that's really been the go-to products here over the last decade.
Yeah, it's so remarkable, Dan. So many people reach out to you. Let's talk about sort of the insurance for the older people. And of course, I'm in that age, group right now, usually purchased by people between 50 and 85 years of old, 85 years old. And of course, I don't even think they need medical testing, and it's a nice coverage, sort of a guaranteed life insurance that you sell. Let's talk about that because that's a very fascinating insurance product.
Yeah, well, we represent some great carriers for that. But what we do is we'll take someone that's 50 to 85 years of age. There's no medical testing whatsoever. We have policies that go up to $35,000 for whole life coverage. And basically they have cash value that builds up throughout their policy. They're insured for the rest of their life. And when they pass away, the family gets burial needs, and they take care of all their expenses. And it's a simple process. I mean, we cover, diabetes, we do strokes, we do cancer. Everything's pretty much covered under this policy. And we do a tremendous amount of volume in this area. It's really been a great go-to product.
Yeah, of course. And I believe, that the premium payments never change and that the face amount of the coverage never decreases. So that's a real drawing card for so many people that reach out to you, right?
Absolutely, 100%. That's a big feature. Your payments, you can actually have what they call an automatic premium loan pay added to your policy, where as you build cash value, you just pay your premiums right through your cash value. Of course, it decreases the base amount of the policy. If you're starting at $35,000 and you take out $5,000 in premiums over a few years, it's going to decrease your death benefit to $30,000. But some people at different times in their life, they don't know if the $35,000 might be a little bit too much or a little bit less. So they can pay like that, and they don't have to come out of their pocket anymore, which is a fantastic feature.
Yeah, that's a great feature. And of course, Dan, you've become known in the insurance field. I mean, you talk at seminars, you get brought on Zoom calls,
Yep.
You're a guest speaker at different insurance conferences and things like that, of course. So, you're a go-to expert. And when we think about it, and I think about you, one thing that you're great at is you love to ask questions. So when people call you and they say, hey, Dan, I heard about what you're doing, I need some coverage. What's that first conversation sound like? Is it really a lot of questions that you're asking, and what type of questions are you asking so you can put them in the right coverage?
Right. Well, the first question that, we like to ask is number one, I like to know, like, how much the people are earning, what their family structure is like. And then when somebody comes back and they tell me, we're earning $70,000 a year or $80,000 a year, a light bulb goes off in my brain that says, boom, they should have 10 times their coverage at 800,000. So I like to ask, what type of work they do, how many children that they have, what their retirement structure looks like, what are their needs, what are their actual needs, and what are they looking to do long term? Because there's so many products in the insurance industry. We like to really take a look at their needs. So my questions are really about needs and what they need. And then we come back and we put them into a program that actually works for their family.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. And for entrepreneurs watching the show, rewind what Dan just said. I mean, every business has to ask the right questions because you have people calling you for your expertise. And when you ask those right questions, it allows you the opportunity to provide not only the superior service that your customers both expect and deserve, but also provide them the right product or service. So in Dan's case with the insurance business, he's asking these questions so he can put the people in the right coverage and custom design the coverage for his clients, which is what really has made Dan one of the leaders in the field. Now, Dan, when we talk about, building a business, I know you have other agents working with you and sort of working under you, and you're a mentor to so many different insurance people throughout the country. And as a matter of fact, you've mentored so many people that went off on their own and, of course, started their own agency as well. And you love mentoring people. So what is it about, mentoring people and teaching people to become a great insurance agent that really turns you on and that you love so much?
Well, I just love working with people. I always have. I like to see people become successful. I like to have people that start out that really know very little about the industry. As long as they have the will and as long as they're aggressive and they're able to learn, they can be extremely successful doing this. And I mean, case in point, I have a young lady that's worked with me for well over 5 years. She's a dynamic personality and she just makes a great living and she loves what she does. She loves what she does because she protects families. And that's really what it's about. I mean, it's interesting about the insurance industry or life insurance, retirement products, and long-term care, which is my specialty. People don't say they wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a life insurance agent. It doesn't happen that way. They go through life. They get into a situation where they want to be maybe more independent. They've been working in the corporate structure for many years and they want to do something really on their own. So what I do with my people is they come into our agency, but they are an independent agent and they're really running their own business. They're just following what we have done to become successful, and they incorporate it into their voice and they make themselves successful. And if they follow the game plan, I mean, they'll do a tremendous amount of business and they'll have a great career that they can retire in.
Yeah, Dan, it's amazing. You have this proven game plan, this proven system. For people watching the show, it's a new year coming up. Maybe you're saying to yourselves, maybe it's time to take a look at something new. Or maybe if you're an existing insurance agent, maybe it's time to, join a team that really cares about people like Dan and his team does. So reach out to Dan at, rocketinsurance.us, see what he has to offer. I mean, everybody that joins his team loves it. And he's helped so many people really provide for their families and build a career. So it's really, really awesome. Now, Dan, when we think about the coverage that you offer, I mean, there's so many different type of life insurance policies. For the layman, it gets a little confusing. But one thing that sort of a lot of people are talking about are these annuities. So I was hoping, before we, talk about entrepreneurship and your entrepreneurial journey, which I've known you for many years, is really awesome and really a shining beacon. Tell us about annuities because it sounds so interesting.
Well, it's interesting. Annuities over the years have gotten actually a bad rap. They really have. But I equate it when I'm doing a seminar on annuities, I tell people that the annuities of today are not the annuities of yesterday. And I equate it to the automobile industry. If you're driving around a 1985 Chevy, compare that to the cars of 2021, the electric cars that are out there. It's a complete different game changer. And that's really what we have available now. So we have people that are in their 50s and mid 60s that have been working all their life. And basically what we do is we take them into a product, and we have a short-term product, 5-year, 7-year product. But the key thing with the annuities that we sell right now is we have what they call a 7 to 8 year doubler. If they follow the plan, their initial investment should double in 7 to 8 years. Now, during that doubling time, of course, if they need cash out, they can get cash out because now we have products that have 20% liquidity while they're in there, so free withdrawals. So there's two types. Basically, you have a qualified annuity, which is money that's been transferred in from an IRA product or a 401k, and then you have a non-qualified product that could be inheritance money. It could be money that's sitting in a bank account that they want to send over. And the great thing is that one of the big questions with our customer base is what can we access our funds while it's growing? And that's absolutely correct right now. Most of our companies have 6% to 10% added on to the annuity once they transfer it. So on a $200,000 annuity, you're getting $20,000 the first day. If you want the first day in that annuity, you can take out 10% immediately if you need a 10% free withdrawal. After the first year, it jumps to 20%. And that's a lot of money to have available for you in the 13th month. Because let's say your annuity gained 13 or 15 or 17%, and you need some cash, you can take out up to 20% of that annuity. And that's big. So we have the liquidity feature. We have the growth feature. We have tremendous funds, the Janus Equity Index Fund, the Bear Misfied Mad Index, which has been performing excellent. So we manage the funds for people. And our clients are really very happy because, as you know, in our products, you know, when the market's going up, it's fantastic. You'll have an index going up. If those markets take a turn and they're down 35% or 18%, you're remaining even. You're not losing any money. So it's a great safety product. It's a great retirement safeguard product for our client base, and it's extremely popular in this day and age.
Yeah, it's a great product. And of course, people, when they want to diversify their complete portfolio, so many experts are saying now, you know, take the broad stroke, diversify your portfolio, and then part of your portfolio should be some type of annuity product. So it's really great.
It's great. It's great, Andy. And one of the great things about this product also is that it's a great diversification product, because you have a product that's going to be, it's going to be there. One thing about insurance, when you have an insurance contract, unlike this being in the stock market, your stock's going to go up and down, but over the lifetime of being in stocks, you should gain. But the problem is when somebody has a 401k and they're 60 years of age and they want to retire in 24 months at 62 years of age, and the market takes a 35% dip, and they're subject to losing 35% of their funds when they want to retire, you don't want to be in that situation. And that's why a couple of years ago, we're allowed to take out 401k money. We're allowed to diversify people that are in 401k accounts while they're working. They can continue to leave their money in their 401k, diversify 40, 50, 60, 80%, depending on what their plan administrator allows them to take. And so they can have that set up. And then when they retire, they can transfer the rest of the money in where they're not losing their money on market fluctuations.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And I love the example that you give. You know, you're driving a 1985 car, and then you compare it to a 2021 electric vehicle with all the new electronics and all the, high tech wheels and, aerodynamics and the computer on board. It's a totally different program. So
totally. And that's what they've done with this product. They've become hybrid products that are for today's customers. shorter periods of time, greater growth opportunity, and greater free withdrawal features up to 20%.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Danny. Listen, let me ask you a question. What do younger people look at? What's sort of the evolution of the insurance policy for younger people? Because I know you have an expertise in that. Why don't you explain that to us and what the process looks like?
Well, the process is great for younger people that are in their 20s, that might be starting a family in their late 20s, and they're looking to secure their future. We have two products that we do. The first thing is always going to be a 30-year term with living medical benefits, meaning that we're going to get them at least $1 million policy. It's going to be very inexpensive. You're probably looking at, for $1 million at that age, you're probably looking at, $46-$50 a month, somewhere in there, maybe 60 at the highest, depending. But I'll tell you, we also do is I like to get a permanent policy in there for them. I like to do an index universal life or a whole life policy that's going to build cash value for the rest of their life. So in those policies, when their 30-year term is up, they have a growth policy, an index universal life that grows, and also or a whole life policy that they have for the rest of their life, where the insurance actually grows as they get older. It increases, but their premiums always stay the same. So those two products for younger people are just an excellent fit for growth and to take care of their families and take care of themselves through using insurance products.
Yeah, that sounds like a great product, of course. And are there any other products right now? We're not hitting on all of them because there's so many different products that you have an expertise in, but is there any other product that you think our audience might want to learn about that would resonate for them?
Well, we have probably the hottest product in the country for people that are in their 50s to early 60s. And that product, I'm going to tell you, is our long-term care product. Now, we have we have an unlimited long-term care coverage product, and we're the only ones in the United States that have that product. It's built from a whole life product, whole life insurance product with cash value, and then a long-term rider that's guaranteed for the rest of their life. And if you look at it for the people that are in the older groups, basically, Alzheimer's right now, Alzheimer's disease, the average person has Alzheimer's now for 6.8 years. So many other companies out there are selling long-term care insurance, but they're only selling it for 3 to 4 years because people are living longer, and people are living longer with illnesses now. We have a product that they're covered for the rest of their life. It's a tax-free benefit. Up to 10 to 15, really from 5, 10, 15,000 a month. We can do a husband and wife on the same policy. It's only a 22% markup to actually have the wife on the policy, which is incredible. I just did one for $7,500 a piece in coverage for a husband and wife each month for the rest of their life. We have 1 day home care, and once they go into care, their premiums completely stop as long as they're in care. So it's a tremendous product. That's probably one of the hottest products we have going for the seniors right now. It's excellent.
I love it, Dan. Now let's talk about entrepreneurship, because you're known for this passion for your customers. You love your clients. I mean, everybody that does business with you at rocketinsurance.us, I mean, they just rave about the sort of personalized service they get from you. And I know your clients sometimes even have your cell phone number, and they text you, and your people working for you. I mean, you're very available. Where did this idea come from? That you just loved your customers so much. Is that something that you started when you were a young man, or evolved throughout the years?
Well, it started as a young man because I took a lot from the way my father did business. My father was pretty much an entrepreneur. He had his own company. He was a food broker. But I saw the way my dad treated people in business. He loved people. He loved selling products, and he treated everybody with respect, and people loved my father. So that kind of rubbed off on me as I got into the business world. I always decided that, and this is how I do business. I mean, I'll do business with anybody if I have someone that's just on Social Security making $8, $9, $1,200 a month, or I have a $40 million I have a $40 million family estate that I'm working with, I treat everybody with the same respect. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've been very successful in what we do. I mean, and the people that work with me and the people that I'm surrounded by, they have to have that attitude. And if the more they have that attitude, the happier they're going to be, the happier their clients are going to be. And it's a win-win situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, Dan, I love it so much. And of course, over your shoulder, you've got a poster of the Lakers. You've got, it looks like maybe Arnold Palmer or somebody over your shoulder. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, golf's my passion. That Los Angeles Laker, I was very good friends with all the Lakers when I lived out in California in the 80s after college. And I actually became friends with Magic Johnson and Chick Hearn, the announcer. I sat in the press box for the World Championships against the Celtics and those battles. And when I left LA to move back, my father became ill. I moved back and spent a year and a half with him before he passed on. They gave me a plaque on basically signed by everybody on the World Championship team. And it says on the plaque, it says, the Lakers, it says right here, it says the foreman, the Lakers, thank you for your support. And that was a great part of my life. And so one of my fun keepsakes that I keep right here in my office.
I love it so much. And I know that you love sports. Let's talk about entrepreneurship because, growing up, you played a lot of sports, Of course, I mentioned earlier in all due candor that I've known you for many, many years. And one thing that you really excelled at was basketball. I mean, you were hitting 3-point shots before 3-point shots became 3-point shots, but you were really good. So what did you take from your experience playing sports and being a great athlete when you were younger and sort of putting that into the entrepreneurial realm? Did you learn things about playing on a team that now you've been able to lead Rocket Insurance.us with your team?
Absolutely. There's a big correlation in sports and business, and that's been my livelihood. I mean, I've loved growing up with sports, but I really believe that in sports, there's, you have sportsmanship. You have to be cordial. You're cordial with sportsmanship. You have the aggressive, you want to be the best. Always you want to be the best. So, and that's always been my driving force. I want to be the best at what I do. And I believe based on my numbers, our numbers, and what the specialty that the specialty that we're in, I think we're probably in the top percentile in the United States in what we do. But the sports were a big part of my youth. And even when I was in California, I played a lot of basketball. And I just think that it's the camaraderie of working with people within a team concept and being there for people and knowing that you're giving your best and you're really working to the best of your ability and correlate in business to the best of your knowledge. And I think that it was really, I think it was great being able to be good in sports and being athletic. And to this day, I'm still athletic. And I just think it's helped me out in business and in personal and business relationships. I think it's been a wonderful correlation between both.
Dan, that's awesome. Now, let me ask you a question. You have 3 beautiful daughters.
Okay? Oh, yeah.
And let's talk about that a little bit because, you lead so many people through your company. What are the things that you want your daughters to learn about life through your entrepreneurial journey? What are some of the lessons that you try and teach your daughters from what you've learned, through your business career?
Well, they are the lifeblood of my life. I mean, I love each and every one of them beyond to infinity, basically. But, but what my daughters see in me is happiness, fulfillment. And I want them to have that in their life. And my daughters are so unique. Each daughter is so individually unique. My youngest daughter is huge in theater. She's actually moving to New York when she's 18 years of age. She starred in her as a freshman. She had the lead role in her freshman in high school. In the roles. I mean, she took roles away from seniors. I mean, when you're a freshman in high school and they're giving you the lead in a play, you're good. since then, she's taken professional singing lessons, and we come from a very musical family. I sing. My sister's a music therapist in New Jersey, runs her own business. But I basically tell my youngest daughter and my other daughters, so I have Sophia, Isabel, and Abigail, my oldest. I tell them that to live your dream and live it with passion. And I really believe my children have been able to emulate that within their lives. They're doing what they want. They really are. I mean, my youngest daughter is going to go to New York. I mean, I feel like she's going to be on Broadway. I think she's so far ahead of her time. She just started as Jovi in The Elf as a junior in high school, and she was spectacular. I mean, just spectacular. I had chills up and down my body. Every time I watch her, I sit right in the front row, and I just can't wait to see her perform. So she's doing great. That's her passion. And she has passion because she sees me, and I have passion in life, and I try to have them live that passion with what they want to do. My middle daughter, Isabel, is graduating in business at Oakland University this spring. And we have her at a fellowship at one of our partner insurance companies. So she's working with one of our partners, and she's loving it. She actually works there with her boyfriend. They've been together for 4 years. So she'll be successful. She has great passion. And Abigail is huge into fitness. My older daughter, who just turned 24, she works people out. She has a passion for spinning. I mean, she just loves health and fitness. Eventually, she'll have a studio, and she's working towards that. So, but they all have that passion and happiness in their life, and it's just amazing. And I absolutely am so proud of each and every one of them.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Of course, you learned so much from your dad, and now your children are learning so much from you. You learned a lot about business and customer-centric approaches from your dad, who was, the top in his business and the food brokerage business. And you've built your business from what you learned from your dad, and now what you're teaching your children has a little bit of a different spin, but you're teaching them about being passionate about life the same way that you are, and go after their dreams. So it's really powerful. Now, Dan, I know you only cut out a certain amount of time today, and I really loved having you on the show. But before we go, I want you to talk to the younger entrepreneurs watching the show. We have a lot of younger entrepreneurs watching, and they're building their first business, and they hit a pothole in the road, or they hit a wall. Sometimes they freak out, they freeze in the frame. They don't know what to do when they hit a problem in business. So maybe you could tell the younger entrepreneurs watching the show what it takes to get through those potholes and come out the other side having a positive experience for having those problems.
Whoops. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Well, basically, for the younger people out there, I will tell you that the world is your oyster. It really is. Because number one, you might not have all the experience that you need, but you have the energy. And if you have the energy and you have the enthusiasm, literally, you're going to learn what to do. So when you have a pothole that you hit, take a moment, step back, look at the scenario that you're in, and remember that that's a learning process. That what you just got hit with is going to help you enhance your business at a later date. So the way that you work through your problems as when you're younger is going to make you a much better business entrepreneur. And you're going to work through those problems, and you're going to become stronger. But I would say for younger people, because they're so enthusiastic and they might not have all the knowledge that they need, take a step back, think about the issues that are at hand, and just know that issue right there is going to help you move forward in your business. And it could be a real tough issue. It could set you on the sidelines for a week or two and really, set you back. But you always remember, you're going to move forward. And as you get through that problem, it's only going to make you much stronger as a business entrepreneur. It really does.
Yeah, I love that advice so much for the younger entrepreneurs. Rewind what Danny just said. I mean, he basically gave you a Harvard MBA in a nutshell right there. I mean, Danny and I both know, and all great entrepreneurs that are out there, that when you hit a roadblock, that means that you're pushing. I mean, that means that you're really pushing. If you're in business and you're not hitting any roadblocks, you're not pushing hard enough. So if things are sort of easy breezy and you're on easy street, look out, because that just means you're not pushing hard enough. Danny.
Correct.
This has been a great interview. Wow. I mean, I love what you're doing at Rocket Insurance. I mean, you've got all the different insurance products. We're going to be bringing you back on the show again, because there's so much to unpack with you, with your experience and your years of sort of being passionate about helping customers in so many different businesses. But this Rocket Insurance is just taking off. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to do business with you. I mean, all the insurance agents throughout the country. I mean, I would imagine your phone's ringing off the hook. They're saying, hey, Dan, we want to become part of your system. So,
you know, and I'll tell you something, we've really partnered with some great companies, and we partner with property and casualty companies out there that need life, long-term care and investment insurance. And we become partners with them. And it's a synergy that continues to grow. And it's just amazing. I mean, I'm very blessed, healthy. My children are healthy. My business is healthy. And I got a lot of great people around the country, and it just keeps getting better and better. It's really, really good.
I love it, Dan. We're going to bring you back on the show. There's so much to unpack. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, sharing, to the entrepreneurs watching the show about how to become great. And of course, your particular expertise, your particular set of skills with rocketinsurance.us. Danny, thank you so much for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Everybody have a wonderful and happy New Year. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.